This emptiness is different from sadness. It's the absence of everything. They don't just miss their partner, they miss having someone to miss them. They don't just feel alone, they feel invisible. The avoidant discovers that pushing someone away doesn't eliminate the need for connection, it just eliminates the possibility of having it. They rationalize the breakup to protect their ego. The avoidant immediately begins constructing elaborate mental justifications for why the relationship had to end. They convince themselves they were incompatible, that their partner was too needy, too demanding, too emotional. They rewrite the history of the relationship to focus on every moment of conflict, every instance where they felt suffocated every time their partner asked for more than they could give. This rationalization serves a crucial psychological function. It protects the avoidant from confronting their role in the relationship's demise. If their partner was simply wrong for them, then the avoidant doesn't have to examine their own behavior, their inability to be vulnerable, or their pattern of sabotaging good relationships. They tell themselves stories about how much better off they are now, how their partner held them back, how the relationship was doomed from the start. But these stories require constant maintenance because deep down, the avoidant knows they're not entirely true. They have to keep reinforcing these narratives to drown out the voice that whispers they might have made a terrible mistake. They become obsessed with their ex's social media. Despite their claims of indifference, the avoidant becomes a digital stalker, compulsively checking their ex's social media accounts. They need to know if their ex is moving on, if they seem happy, if they're dating someone new. This isn't healthy curiosity, it's an addiction born from their need to control the narrative and manage their own emotions. When their ex posts happy photos or seems to be thriving, the avoidant feels a complex mix of relief and devastation. Relief because it confirms they made the right choice. Their ex is fine without them. Devastation because it confirms their deepest fear, they were disposable and easily replaced. When their ex posts sad quotes or seems to be struggling, the avoidant feels simultaneously vindicated and guilty. Vindicated because it proves the relationship mattered, that they weren't wrong to end it if it was causing their ex pain. Guilty because they know they're responsible for that pain, even if they'll never admit it out loud. They compare every new person to their ex. The avoidant throws themselves into dating with the determination of someone trying to prove a point. They go on multiple dates, swipe through dating apps with mechanical efficiency, and tell themselves they're exploring their options and enjoying their freedom. But every new person becomes a comparison study with their ex as the unwitting standard. This new person is more attractive, but they don't have their ex's sense of humor. That person is less demanding, but they're also less interesting. Someone else is more independent, but they lack their ex's warmth. The avoidant finds fault with everyone because no one can replicate the specific combination of qualities that made their ex uniquely perfect for them. The cruel irony is that the avoidant pushed away the person they now use as the gold standard for everyone else. They ended the relationship with someone they can't stop comparing others to, proving they knew exactly what they had when they chose to walk away from it. They experienced delayed emotional processing. While their ex likely processed the breakup in real time, feeling the pain immediately and working through it with friends, family, or therapists, the avoidant delays their emotional reckoning. They pride themselves on being logical and unemotional, so they intellectualize the breakup rather than feeling it. But emotions don't disappear just because they're ignored. They go underground and resurface later with compound interest. Months after the breakup, when their ex has likely moved on, the avoidant finally begins to feel the full weight of what they've lost. The delayed grief hits them like a tsunami, often triggered by seemingly unrelated events. They might break down crying in a grocery store when they see their ex's favorite ice cream, or feel overwhelming sadness when they hear a song that played during a happy moment in their relationship. The avoidant experiences the breakup on a delayed timeline, feeling the acute pain long after the acute phase has passed for everyone else involved. They struggle with the fantasy of reconciliation. The avoidant becomes trapped in elaborate fantasies about getting back together with their ex. They imagine scenarios where they reach out and their ex welcomes them back with open arms. They rehearse conversations where they explain how much they've grown and learned. They plan grand gestures that would prove their love and commitment. But these fantasies remain just that, fantasies. because the avoidant is still too terrified of vulnerability to act on them. They want their ex back, but they want their ex to make it safe for them to return. They want reconciliation without having to risk rejection, love without having to risk loss, connection without having to risk being hurt again.